Oh, oh, sorry. Oh, I had to write. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. Must be. Did anybody hear me? Did anybody? Maybe I don't know. All right. All right. How about now? Yeah, there you go. Oh, there you go. Now bringing the audio a little better. I'm sorry. My name, once again, let me introduce myself again. My name is Raylow, and I'm living in Minnesota here. I've been here now for about almost 10 years, going on 11 years now. Been here in Minnesota. So originally from Brooklyn, New York, Bedford Stuyvesant, do or die, Bed Stuy, as they call it. I've been living there for over 40 some odd years, off and on. I moved from one location, always ended back to Brooklyn again, leave and come back. But this time I permanently left New York for good. I left New York for reasons because I would say the cost of living is getting kind of like high out there, and plus it's not for me. It's like if you like living in Valley, it's like if you ain't making an income, you ain't not gonna make it. And I just don't deal with government substance, what they call substance, like government giving them handouts because I know mostly um, they try to control your life, control your income, control whatever you do. And I just don't want, I rather work than have be controlled by what income I'm making, all that kind of stuff. It's just not for me. So I'm pretty much more, I like to be more financially myself. I have a little business on the side I do, plus I work. So it keeps me going. I mean, it keeps my head above water and everything like that. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm not to cut off the subject, but yeah, I moved to Minnesota been here about 10 years. Before that, when I came to Minnesota, I was in Charleston, South Carolina for about 2.5 years. I was there, and it was not the place I really wanted. It was always hot. It rained a lot. Um, it was miserable out there. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you're from the South, if you're born in that area, if you're born in that kind of environment, I guess you can live that way. But hey, I can't live in that kind of environment. So I tried. I was with someone, and the person who I was with wasn't really what I expected. Our life we just start falling off apart after a while. So it kind of fade off. And so later on we had our own separate rooms. And when we did, we still was friends and whatnot, but we just didn't do anything within that 2 year period. So I'm within it was okay for the first couple of them, maybe first year, but it kind of died out in the second year around. It wasn't much, because I think we all have different lifestyles and different feelings. She's from Kentucky and I'm from New York, so everybody they have their own different, environment of living. So, I mean, I like to go out. I'm more of a city boy. You can take the boy out the city, but you can't take the city out the boy because I'm more like used to things like maybe go out theaters, but like nightlife. Say like the nightlife. Go out there, have a good time, party and whatnot. I mean, I didn't do partying much, but I mean, I'm just like I'm an outgoer. I like to go out. I don't want to sit in the house and just melt away and stuff. And that's what happened with me because after a while, when I lived down there in South Carolina, it's just like there's nothing much to do unless you have a car. And then you have a car. It was too hot to do anything out there, and it's so laid back, and I'm not a laid back kind of person. I like to be active, keep myself going. I gained a lot of weight when I was down there. I think I would have started from 200. I gained 200 pounds. Well, when I went to South Carolina from Lee, New York to South Carolina, I was about 200 pounds, maybe close to 200 pounds. Then once I've been there about a year and a half or so, I gained about almost over 280 pounds, and that was not right. It was not healthy for me. Just after a while, I couldn't move around the way I wanted to. People think I was like, they had these little star things that, were saying. One kid, I don't know, I never forgot it. I was going through Walmart one day, and I had a shirt that was so big on me, like my stomach was sticking out. Some kid walked up to me and said, "How many months are you?" And I like, oh my God. And with the woman in the car said, "That's not nice to say that." But maybe, when I was from a distance, they said, "Hey, he look like he's pregnant." I was like, But I got all that weight down since I left, so it was just the idea. Just I found out I was just gaining a little weight. Then I had to keep myself active, so I didn't really have I didn't have a car, so I mostly rode my bike a lot. So in the south, and it's hot out there. You ride a bike out there, but I kept myself active. I'm a very active person. But anyway, when it says I was in South Carolina, then things didn't work out between us. Then we had our own room. Well, because it was a 2 bedroom apartment anyway, whatever they call it, 2 bedroom, whatever. Because her son's supposed to have the other room, and we're supposed to have our room. But her son never showed up in the room because her son didn't really like her for some apparent reason. I found out later, but I'll explain that to you later why. But anyway, so he never showed up, come for a visit or to stay. He didn't want to live in South Carolina. He wanted to stay in Kentucky. So I guess that's where his friends are at and everything. So, which I can understand that. So it's not a problem with that. I can understand, you take him out of the environment, then you don't, take him in the environment, you got to make friends all over again. All that stuff's not the same. But anyway, as I was moving along, I was in a relationship. Then next thing we know, we had, I guess after a while, she went and decided to get a boyfriend, which he was very abusive. Of course, he was very abusive, which I was never abusive at all. I never called it a name. Anybody could tell you that. Maybe I was just more, myself, I was more of, what they call it? I was more of, what do you call it? A passive kind of person, just let things go over my head and just didn't think much about it. There was everything have cause for a reason. So, I went, and that's the way it was. I guess because I went to church there and I learned to say, forgive those who forgive others. And I did love for that passage. But it didn't work out. Then she had a boyfriend who was abusive. Then he had me kicked out the house. I went homeless. I never forgot. I went homeless. They put me in some shelter, which I didn't really feel too good about. Cause I tried to call my family, but I didn't have the family because the phone I had, I had a phone. He had her to cut my phone service off, and which he did. I couldn't call nobody, so I was stranded out in South Carolina, no place I couldn't call my family and nothing. I was stranded. Luckily I had a job, so it was not that bad. So, man, I was just like trying to get over, and I tried to get out from the shelter and everything. I went over the gate to get out. I fell down and damaged my leg. Oh, and I never forgot that. I messed up my leg real bad. Went to the doctors. It's not bad. It's not bad. It was like 10 years ago, but it was real bad and swelled up a lot. But it was because because I couldn't stay in the shelter. I couldn't see myself in the shelter because I never lived up to be that way. I never lived like all I wanted to do was just get out of there and find. I just had the money. But fortunately, when I went to work, I explained my situation, everything. It was a nice lady. I forgot her name. I wish I remember her name. Her husband was in the military, so they took me in for a couple of weeks. Helped me in there, treated me and helped me and got to working back until I found my own place, which was nice. And it was very nice. He had children. But he had some beautiful children. I say that. But they was very jumpy. So it was cool, though. I liked the children, so it was cool. And after a while, then, I only could stay on the base for like 30 days. Then I had to get out to move to get another place. And the funny thing was, when another place I went to move at, I moved in with a guy. He was a racist. I didn't know, but he well, always got money. He don't care, but he ain't right with black people. But he was just the way you could tell he still saw somebody who was racist because he would listen to a lot of racist comedy and stuff like that. But he never know I was home. When I get in the house, I used to listen to all the music. To all the comedy sketches while he was taking a bath, and he was talking about how end this and nigger that and all that stuff like. And he said, "Oh, I didn't meant to know you was coming in so early, so I didn't know." I said, "Well, that's you, I guess maybe because as long as I had the money, he don't care who I am, but just the idea of it. He had, I don't remember his damn name. Maybe I don't remember name. It's a good thing I don't remember their names. I don't really care because he was very well. He was not. He was nice to me, but it was just things. He was like one of the computer whizzes, whatnot, but he had problems, and I don't know. I think he was bipolar or something like that, maybe basically. But anyway, after I left there, and when I went there, then I stayed there for a couple. Then I couldn't take it no more because I moved. That's when I went to North Charleston. That's where I stayed at North Charleston. Stayed there for a while, but going to North Charleston. It was pretty better. North Charleston's a lot better because it got more like, you know, stores and stuff. Everything's more local in North Charleston than South Charleston. Than Charleston. South Charleston didn't have nothing. They're like little hickory stores here and there, maybe a Piggly Wiggly, but they didn't have much going on there. Like everything, most of all the stores closed on Sundays except Piggly Wiggly and some side stores. But if you go to North Charleston, then there was all the stores. You could go to Popeyes and all that stuff was all down there. It was like a 20, it was like a 35, 40 minute ride. I think it was pretty much 35, 45 minute ride. So, but anyway, it was pretty nice ride, you know. So it take you to drive there by bike. Well, damn, for a bike it takes forever. I used to ride my bike to work. It was weird, but anyway, no. So I don't know. I did it, but I made it. Thank the grace of God. But anyway, so after I left, I couldn't take it anymore. So one day, when I got enough money up, I talked to my daughter's mother. Talked to her, and she said, "Why don't you come on down to Minnesota? I mean, it's nice up here and everything like that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I built up money, got a bus fare, and I went straight to got on the Greyhound and rode right straight to Minnesota. And then that was like 10 years ago. Then I stayed with her for my daughter's mother for a while, but which we never got along too well anyway. So I see why we didn't get along. I guess it didn't really hit me till now. I figured we could rekindle our relationship, or back the way it was. But she still was the same. She had the same attitude. I thought it was me basically, but it's not. It's just that she wanted cake and eat it too. She wants to have her friends eat it too, and she was trying to be so manipulative, and trying to be what I'm saying, manipulative, try to like be bossy and everything. Like if I don't do what she says, she'll call the police on me, or it's like like walking on eggshells at her house. That's basically was like walking on eggshells. Like everything you do is like something wrong. I mean, she had a good days and she had a bad days. I think she was bipolar too. I'm not sure. I don't know. Don't care anymore. I don't be with her. I don't bother her no more. But I stayed with her for about 2-3 months, maybe. Yeah, about 2-3 months. Then was a lot of commotion going on, and her people and family was just not her family, or sons, trying to help her, but they can't do nothing because she has this. I don't know. She has this burst attitude, like everything she says is right and what we say is wrong, and it's like you ain't no good. You ain't gonna find nobody like me. It's like, whoa, hold on. I used to hear guys say things like that. So I never thought I would hear that from a woman point of view. Like, oh, you ain't gonna find find out nobody better than me and all that stuff. Like, I hope not. I hope I don't find nobody like you. I will find somebody better than you. Yeah, not like you, but I told that story. So that caused a lot of friction, and then after a while, every time I do something, she want to throw me out the house because I think they just everything was basically manipulative control, but they didn't work with me too well because I had the last laugh because I had enough money saved up my income tax. Luckily, at the time I did got kicked out, I had my income tax money was in the bank already, so I went and walked that long. I think I must have walked about at least about 5, 6, 7 miles. Look for a place to live, and I found a place too. Well, I went to apartment finders. They had apartment finders, so I went to them. It was free, which was a guy. He was from England. He was a very nice guy. I think it was Smith. No, we know it's Smith, and he was very smart. He was a very nice guy, very nice guy. So anyway, so he said show me about this apartment to check out. It was 2 apartments there, 2 places to pick out. One's in Bloomington, and one in Richfield. So I said, well, I'll check one and other. But I like the one in Richfield was better. He said Richfield's better because it's more better. The apartments are like more like family oriented, and it's more settled. Richfield's more like I found out Richfield's more of a more of seniors because they got a lot of senior condos up here than anything else. I mean, it's good for families too, but I see more senior condos than anything else around. Well, maybe when I get old enough and I make enough money, hopefully maybe YouTube will make me enough money, I can live in one of those condos. No. Anyway, so let me stop. Anyway, so yeah. So as we was at that, then she kicked me out again because she thought about I was cheating on her and all that stuff, and which had never happened. How the hell would cheat on somebody? I don't even know the hell. This is the first time I've been in Minnesota. Who the hell am I supposed to know in Minnesota? Like, I'm gonna come to your house and I'm going to cheat on you. And I just got there less than about a month ago, and I don't know, it's just something was wrong with her mentally. So I had to leave. I had to let that alone. Thank you. Like that, I asked Jesus, please, Lord, please let me get out of this situation. I'll guarantee I'll live it. And which I found was anyway. Moving on, I found me a place. I must have walked at least about, because I didn't know how the transportation system run up here in Minnesota. So I went. I guess how would I say? I must have walked at least. It was snowing out there time too. It was cold snow. It was about. I think it was January. It was snowing out there. I walked. It was cold, like 20 degrees. That's what I recall. And I was walking, and I must have walked at least about maybe about 8 miles, 8, 9 miles, because I didn't know how transit worked up here, at the time. So I walked, and I found the place. And when I did found the place, I say, well, how much I had to do? And then she had to get a background check and all that stuff, which they didn't take too long, thank God. And they found out everything was fine. I had to go put a deposit, which was a good. I put the deposit down. Then I had to go. So I figured now I had to go back to the house without her, let her know that I'm going to live somewhere else. So, at that time I was in the shelter. So, and again, but I didn't stay there. I only stayed there like a day and a half. It was a day. They would just go about apartments, and they told me a place to go to because I was making money. I was working already. So, by that time I was a ride operator working at the Nickelodeon Park at the time. I forgot. I skipped that over there. I did had a job. So, the first job when I first came to Minnesota, first day I came to Minnesota, when I had a job. I had a job the first day I came here. I was doing something for the school, for the gifted school for the kids, or something like that, or for the kids who got families, got millionaires. It was in Eden Perry somewhere. And after that, then I worked at Nickelodeon Park. I gotta get these things together. I'm sorry, jumping over these subjects here, but yeah, I worked at Nickelodeon as a ride operator at the time. So I got the job like a week, about 2-3 weeks later, ride operator, whatever. But anyway, I was making money, so that's when I started in September. Then when January came, then I had no money because I filed my income tax early. She got mad about that too because I was filing income tax. Said, well, we don't file at the same time. I said, well, at the same time, if I wait for you filing income tax, I probably wouldn't even. I'd be waiting for the next June, July. I don't know. But anyway, that was done. That's done. That's done deal. So anyway, I'm moving on. Oh gosh, it's just so much in my head. I'm trying to remember. It just, I don't know. Maybe I just need like part 2 stories about it. So anyway, let me just speed it up here. So anyway, I got my apartment. So after that, then I had to go back to the house, and I had to go to try to not let her know that I was moving out. So I just slowly, when she was going to work, and she was working, of course, I was moving my stuff out slowly to the other apartment. Then one day she noticed that when she came to the apartment. Well, she noticed when she came in that night. She noticed some of my stuff was gone. So she said, what happened to your stuff? I said, well, I put it in shelter. I put not shelter. I said, I put it in I put it in storage just in case you kick me out again. Then I just, at least I know I don't have to come back and get any of my stuff, which I lied about it. The next day, I think the next morning she was pissed off about it. Says, you just got to leave. You got to go. Just got to go. I said, okay, fine. I wasn't worried about it, go because I already left anyway because I already had my apartment already. Just what I was doing after I go from work, I had gone to my brand new apartment. Yeah, so I got the rest of my stuff, and I went to work that day, which I was trying to go back, and I left my phone at the house. I ring the bell, and she didn't want to answer. I had no cell phone, so I had to go purchase one of those prepaid phones and stuff like that. The prepaid phone. So anyway, moving on. Then that's when I moved to my apartment. And when the first day I moved to the apartment, I had no furniture whatsoever. I had a bed or nothing. All I was sleeping on the floor, and I had clothes, and I like bundle up all my clothes and make it like a pillow, and just resting on it, just resting on with I had one of those big snorkel coats, the big army snorkel coats. I had one of those. I used that for a blanket. But it wasn't too bad though, because on the next day I went to work, and I went and after I went to work the next day, I went shopping for some stuff, like got a clock, radio, and some food and stuff. And I made it. I made it through. I made it well through. And that's the story. Then ever since then, I left after I left her, and I came to Minnesota ever since, back in 2006, 2000, what? 2000, wow. Been here around 10 years, so it's been a while. And ever since then, I mean, I started building up more, got a different job. Still work at the mall, but I had another job there in the mall, so I changed my position. I went there and went to cleaning and whatnot. And then I made more money. Then the next thing I know, then I've been here ever since. So I could tell you about ever. It's about 20 minutes now I've been talking, but I may skip over a few things. But if you'll need to ask me, just comment down below and let me know, and I'll explain more in maybe my next um, blog when I talk, because I'm skipping. I know I skip over a lot of stuff. Maybe it's just some stuff, how it came to be this, how it came to. I'm just trying to get it all done, because you can do but so much on. It's only so much you can do here on YouTube and all that stuff. So yes. So anyway, you want to catch me? You want to catch me out there on my Facebook. It's Real Talk with Raylow, and it's on. You go at Facebook at Raylow Blog Talk, RAYLOW blog BLOGTALK at blog. Well, just like say at Facebook.com// Raylow Blog Talk. Or you can see me here on YouTube, Raylow's Studio, which is Raylow. Somebody say Raylow TV, but it's Raylow Studio. But I never changed the name, so. And on Instagram is Raylow Masters. On Instagram, you catch on Instagram is Raylow Masters. And I just want you to like, comment, and subscribe, and press that bell to notify. So, yeah. So I just like to tell stories. I mean, I tell the truth about stories, and plus, well, moving it on. Since I've been here in Minnesota, I mean, it's been snowing. It's a lot of snow. I mean, I tell you, Minnesota's a nice place to really live at. If you could deal with the cold weather, it's a pretty good place to live at. It really is. I mean, the air's more fresher. The people are more friendlier. I mean, you run across a few a-holes every now and then, but they're very seldomly you run across them. The a-holes. But very seldom you run across them. But they're around. But as long as you don't get into that situation, environment area, like sometimes, like some people like to look, you look for trouble, you'll find trouble. That's how it is with them. But basically, if you're not looking for trouble, it's a very peaceful place to live. I mean, I have no problems. I've been living in New York, because New York, I mean, I used to watch my back a lot. Every time I walk, I have to watch my back. It's like, oh gosh, I mean, it's terrible. And it's like crime. You hear gunshots, and because it's a bigger population city. Because it's like what now they got over like 8 million people, 9 million people in New York, something like that. That's a big population, And I mean, like rent is very extraordinary. It's like the rent is very astronomical. Well, I mean, it's really large. I mean, a 1-bedroom apartment will cost you at least about $1,500 to $2,000. It depends on what area you live in. Back on Bed-Stuy now, the apartments out there they just, because now it's got diverse. It's more diverse now, so that's why it's more expensive, because all the people that used to live there years ago all moving back. Because I mean, when I was living there, only who lived there was blacks and Hispanics. Now you got diversity of all types of all different people there now. So and plus they fixed up their houses and they brought them back. I guess Rudy Giuliani, when he was mayor, he got rid of a lot of criminals and stuff there. So maybe that's what has a lot to do with it. Happen that way. So, well, yeah, that's pretty good much about it. But then I mean, don't get me wrong. New York's a good place to visit. Don't get me wrong. It's a great place to visit, but it's not a place I want to live anymore. Because I went back to New York about a couple of years ago. It's just like now I feel like it disgusts me to live down there, because I see all the graffiti and the smell of garbage and stuff like that. Like, I guess if you live in Queens or live in like in suburban areas, you don't worry about that too much. But the smell is still there. You go down in the subways are nasty. Rats be running around in the middle of the night. And I'll put that on my next video. I'll put that on about New York City, how my experience in New York City is. So I'm just wrapping it up. Just give you a little bit of intro about what I'm at. So anyway, it's getting ready to get daybreak here. So I think I'm going to give me something to eat and go lay down. Probably watch some more YouTube. Hopefully everything works out on YouTube. So Like I said before, just if you have any comment, make a comment, like, subscribe, and notify. I gotta memorize this stuff because I don't do it all every day. If I did that every day, then I probably have it memorized in my mind. But anyway, So anyway, I want to thank you for coming in. I know I'm doing a lot, but ain't nobody showed up. So well, I guess maybe I'll show up on the web somewhere, and then people might invite themselves in. Feel free. I mean, feel free to comment. I mean, anything else. So anyway, that I'll put a blog down below and let you know where my internet and everything is at and things from there. So, uh, well, yep, I'll do it from there. So anyway, y'all take it easy. Y'all have a good one. Have a blessed week. Probably be back in next Friday. I'll try to have more of my stories gather up, put together. I can put it in form so it won't be so confusing. So, thank you for coming in and listening. This is Raylow here. I was going to say thank you and God bless and have a good day. See you.